Mark and I were married for 42 years. We were attached at the hip. We did everything together. So when Mark passed away in April 2021, for the longest time, I felt like Mark hadn't completely left because I was seeing visions of him often. And then about a year ago, I had a dream that something hit my foot. I sat up, I saw a white flash. And after that, I really didn't see many visions of Mark anymore. And I now felt empty. One day I was outside and I noticed a piece of my siding had pulled loose from my house. I told a friend at church the next morning, and she said, "I know exactly who can help you. He helps rebuild homes in the city." So before church started, she marched me up in front of this guy. I didn't know him. And she said, "Steve, this is Marianne. She has a piece of loose siding in her house. Can you help her?" He looks at me, leans back in the pew, and goes, "I guess." Oh, man, I was so embarrassed. All I wanted to do was run. But for some reason, I decided to use the widow card. You know, tell this guy my husband passed away 2 years ago. He'll have compassion for me then, right? No, not this guy. He goes, if I ever get a chance, I'll get your number and call you sometime. I did run back to my seat. But he called me that night already. "Hey, Marianne, this is Steve. Met you at church this morning. Do you remember me?" Yeah, I remember you." "How about I come tomorrow and look at that siding of yours? 10:30? He said, "Perfect." I wanted to pull in my driveway at 10:15, but I couldn't because this guy's big freaking motorcycle is blocking it. Of course he'd ride a motorcycle. We walked out back together, and he walked right up to my house, and he pushed the siding in with one finger. "You couldn't do that yourself, huh? Who is this guy?" But he stuck around about 15 minutes, and in that 15 minutes, he shared with me that his wife died 6 years ago. I now saw him in a completely different light. I saw that he carries the same pain that I carry with me. But right after he left, he texted me and asked me out on a date. A date? I can't go out on a date. Mark just died 2 years ago. That's too soon, right? Do I want to date? And if I would I date him? All these questions I never thought I'd have to ask myself. So I decided to vet this guy out. Yeah, I went to the top. My 3 pastors. Yeah. Certainly one of the 3 is going to say, "Stay away from that guy." No, all 3 of them thought he was awesome. They all 3 encouraged me to go. So I Googled him. Yeah, heavily. But somehow I still found myself hiking with him that Friday already. 4 hours. First time I go out with this guy, and I had to pee behind a tree. He started to tell me all about himself. I'm like, "Yeah, I already know all that." He goes, "How?" "I Googled you." He thought this was funny. I'm like, he checked me out too, right? Because I didn't need to check you out. I knew exactly who you were the 15 minutes I was at your house. You're interesting, you're attractive, you're fit, you're energetic. You're a bit vulnerable, you're open, and you're genuine. Oh my God. I always knew I was an open book, but this guy figured me out in 15 minutes. I'm not ready to date. I may never be ready to date. Let's just hang out then. Found myself hanging out in this guy's kitchen. Yeah, Memorial Day. He made me crab cakes, my favorite. You know, he even baked me a black raspberry pie from scratch, from black raspberries he picked from his garden. Who is this guy? I was surprised because I started feeling comfortable, having fun, laughing again. But when I went home, I felt guilty. I didn't know, was it okay? And did I want to take a risk to hang out with this guy? I am vulnerable. And this was so unexpected. When Mark died, I placed a tight shield over this heart of mine because I didn't think it was possible that I could have any love left in there to share with anyone else. So I was never going to look. And then I had that damn piece of loose siding on my house. Mark came to me in a dream, and he said, "Marianne, it's okay." So I decided to take a risk and hang out with this guy. And he has shared experiences with me that I wouldn't have had if I hadn't met him. Can you believe I got on that freaking motorcycle with him? Yeah, I now own my first jean jacket ever, just because of that one ride. We hung out together last year for 7 months. But by the end of the year, it was really obvious to the both of us that we weren't on the same page with our feelings for each other. But I told him the very first time we hung out that I wasn't ready, that I wasn't sure if I had anything left in this heart to share with anyone. So I was honest with him from the very beginning. But now I need to be honest with all of you, because the story needs to be true. Even though that relationship ended, I'm still glad that I took that risk, because you see, that relationship is a huge piece in this healing journey that I continue to be on. Because truth be told, my heart did open, and I found out I can love again. Thank you.